Welcome to the Small Business Minute number 55. Today's topic is, are you ready? The economy is humming along and your sales are doing just fine. As a matter of fact, things are actually pretty good. That's why this is exactly the time you should heed that famous Boy Scout motto, to always be prepared. Great advice, but be prepared for what? On average, there's an economic downturn of some sorts every 7 years. Sometimes a little longer, sometimes a little sooner, but 7 years on average. Yet, when they do happen, most owners seem to get caught totally off guard. A slowdown, a recession, a depression, each one a little more serious than the other, and each one can hurt your business. The trick to minimizing their impact is to do a quick walk around of your business, much like every pilot does before takeoff. Why? Because when business is reasonably good, we tend to get a little comfortable and take our eyes off some of the details. We stop paying attention to the regular everyday expenses like wireless phone bills, the internet, or the various insurance policies. Or maybe we've let our receivables stretch just a little longer than we used to. What about overtime? Is anybody paying attention to it? Is it justified? What would happen if your revenue dropped by 20 or 30% tomorrow? What expenses would you need to cut? How quickly could you do so? Most individuals can't answer these questions because they just don't know. Making time now to review all your expenses is time well spent. It allows you to rationally think things through instead of being in a crisis mode. Doing so now gives you time to explore all the alternatives available to you. For instance, can you use postal service instead of a courier service? Does that package really need to get there the next day? Can you email invoices instead of mailing them? If you have a delivery or company vehicles, are you getting discounts on fuel by using corporate fuel cards? These cards give you a discount on every liter or gallon of fuel purchased. Over the course of the year, this can really add up. If you haven't been using these cards, now's the time to go get them. Just remember, it's easier to get credit when things are good. One of the things I did when I first started out and continued with each startup was to avoid lunch meetings. By scheduling client meetings before or after lunch, I avoided having to buy a prospective client lunch that I could ill afford at the time. Later on, I would enforce this practice with my staff every time the economy took a downturn. It was easy to do and no one ever noticed. When things got better, we would selectively reinstate lunches. Using this kind of benchmarking helps you focus on those extraneous expenses that have quietly crept into your business over the past few years. When, not if, a downturn comes, the last thing you want to be doing is trying to generate new business and cut expenses at the same time. Doing it now lets you answer the question, are you ready? With a resounding yes. I'm Greg Weatherden, and this has been your Small Business Minute.